Hello and welcome to the first episode of Howell's Histories. Believe it or not, we are very fortunate in Nottinghamshire, for in Nottinghamshire was found one of the most significant hauls of treasure. It was one of the largest hoards of medieval coins ever found, and it was found in Ravenshead. And so today's topic is the Fishpool Treasure Hoard, a medieval mystery. And our question is, firstly, what was discovered? And secondly, we're going to be looking at two theories as to why such a large amount of treasure was buried in Nottinghamshire. And I'm going to leave it up to you to decide why you think it was buried there. And so, looking at the screen, this is the Fishpool Treasure Hoard. I will be, by the way, putting this PowerPoint onto Google Classroom as well, because I realise that it's not showing up particularly well. But this is the image from the British Museum. If you want to go and see the Fishpool Hoard now, you have to go down to London rather than in Nottinghamshire. But let's talk about the discovery. So in 1966, workers on a building site near Cambourne Gardens, Ravenshead, Nottingham, found the largest hoard of medieval coins ever found in England. I went down to Cambourne Gardens to talk to people. One person is convinced it was found underneath his kitchen, and probably true. Now, it's one of the 10 most important treasures ever found in the UK. Now, its modern day value would put it at around £300,000. Now, to make that clear, that means that the people who owned this back then, it would be the equivalent today of owning £300,000. Obviously, its modern day value, if you do have this now, a British Museum, then you're going to be able to sell it for an awful lot more. Now, what is actually in this hoard? There are 1,237 coins dating from 1351 to 1464. Now, when we're trying to work out why it was buried, do remember that there were no coins minted after 1464 in that hoard. Most of these coins are English, but it does include 166 Burgundian coins, plus some coins from Scotland. There are some French coins, and also what we call some Anglo-Gallic coins. This is, of course, during the 100 Years' War. England is trying to conquer France because our royal family claim to be the royal families of France too. As it happens, they are right in that. They do have the correct legal claim, but the French royal family have claimed that they are the Salic lands, which means that Salic law is in place, which means you can't claim royal descent from women. But the Salic lands happen to be in Germany. So the French are wrong, and the English royal family were right to claim that they should unite England and France into one nation. The bits of France ruled by the English have coins, and they are Anglo-Gallic coins. So it includes some Anglo-Gallic coins. Now, some of these coins, however, are gold-plated counterfeit coins dating from the reign of Henry VI. Now, the coins, when they were found, were stacked very neatly in the ground. So they may have been buried in a box or a bag. Now, the coins were in great condition, and many of them were obviously newly minted. Now, 63 of these coins, if we move on to the next slide, 63 of these coins are incredibly rare. Yeah, it really doesn't show up well that way. You're just going to have to look at the PowerPoint and move the PowerPoint with me. Now, 63 of these are very rare. They are Edward IV's English noble coins. If you hear someone described as a nobleman, it's because they are rich enough to have the coin, nobles, in their pockets. They are very rare, heavy gold coins. Now, apart from these 63 found in the Fishpool Treasure Hoard, only 4 other Edward IV nobles have ever been found. So we got 67, and 63 are found in this Ravenshead hoard. It's because they're so rare, because the gold in these coins is worth more than the coin. So you'd be a fool to keep these coins. If you get these coins, you melt them down and you sell the gold, because the gold is worth more than the coin. You've got to be a real idiot to get one of these things in your change. God knows what you're buying if you're getting one of these in your change. But if you get this in your change and then use it as a coin, you're a complete fool. You should instead just melt it down, so they don't tend to survive. And yet there are 63 of them in this hoard, which makes us think that maybe this hoard has come from the reign of Edward IV. Otherwise, why have they survived? They wouldn't survive for a very long time. They're often melted down abroad, by the way. And there was a time, of course, in the 90s, late 80s, that you'd have found it hard to find English 2p coins. That's because the copper in the old 2p coins was worth more than twopence. So again, they were melted down. Now, few nobles were made. They were all made in London. And it was the last ever issue of the noble coin. Now, the noble is worth 80 old pence, or 6 shillings 8 pence. So for those of you who know imperial currency, we're looking at a third of a pound. Now, they don't last in circulation long. Now, there's also, if we move on to the next slide, stuff I won't bother moving on this slide because you can't see it from the screen. That does include some jewellery. 4 rings, a pendant, and a brooch. Now, the brooch was heart-shaped with the phrase, "I am wholly yours." Isn't that nice? And it was blue and white. Now, the blue and white colours are significant. They are the colours of the Lancastrian family. We are looking at the War of the Roses, where the Yorkists fight the Lancastrians. And blue and white are the colours of those with Lancastrian sympathies. Or maybe they just like the colour blue and white. Now, the ring had phrases like, "All my heart" on. One has a turquoise gem. Now, as an aside, turquoise gems at this time were thought to protect you from drowning, poisoning, and riding accidents. Now, one ring, if we go over to the next, if we skip the slide again, we've got here the Fishpool ring. I'm hoping that you can recognise your PowerPoint slide from the glare on my screen. You've got there the turquoise gem. If you get to the slide showing the Fishpool signet ring. Now, look closely at the design on that ring. You might say, what is it? It shows a hawk's lure, something that you use to tie the hawk on to. It's the symbol of a gentry family called the Sacheverell family. Now, it's a rich family from Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire, in the south of Nottinghamshire. So it could well be their signet ring. That ring might actually have belonged to Ralph of that family, born in 1446 in Hopewell, Derbyshire. And he died at the age of 42 in 1488. It might have belonged to him. However, the hoard definitely didn't belong to him. You might say, how can you say it definitely doesn't belong to him? Ralph is a minor gentleman. There's no way he'd be rich enough to own all this hoard of gold coins. But if you go to his grave, then you will notice that he has what we call an SS collar. Carved onto the stone, a series of S's on a chain around his throat. Now, that's got nothing to do with Nazi Germany and the SS, but instead, an SS collar, again, shows someone with Lancastrian, not Yorkist, sympathies. And so, could well be linked to the colours of blue and white. Now, his family would soon come to own the manor house on Radcliffe-on-Soar. I'm sure you've heard of Radcliffe-on-Soar. If not, look it up on a map. Well, many of his descendants are actually buried nearby. Now, if we look at the next screen, we've got the heart-shaped brooch and a picture of Edward IV. Now, if you want to look at the hoard, wait till after the self-isolation, for it's currently kept in the British Museum in room 40. But where did it come from? Now, to ease the loading up of these videos, we will stop the lecture here and we'll move on to the second video. Thank you very much.